Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson here from ZeldaDungeon.net, and you are watching our video walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. This chapter covers the 4th dungeon of the game, the Arbiter's Grounds. It runs a little under an hour and is broken up into 6 videos. As soon as you walk into the entrance chamber, you'll see a short cinema showcasing the room. This dungeon is filled with patches of quicksand that you can sink into, and is particularly important to avoid the spiraling pits of death, because they'll suck you up and kill you if you touch them, as one might guess. As soon as you start, you want to head out to the platform on your right. You can either go across the quicksand and then climb up, or you can claw shot to the grating that's directly above it. Work your way across the little platforms, and you'll see there's a ton of Moldorms in this room. And unlike inside the Gerudo Desert, these guys do not reappear when defeated, so feel free to take them out if they're causing you problems. Use your claw shot to bring them out of the sand, and then you can defeat them with your sword. You want to head over to the northwest corner of the room where you will find a new enemy here called a Stalkin. These guys are very similar to Stalfos, and these little pygmy warriors will appear out of the sand when you get close, and they'll come at you with spears. A few sword slashes will easily take care of them. You'll see a chain that is in the quicksand up here, but rather than walking out to get it, use your claw shot to steadily bring it towards you, and it'll bring it closer. This way we can grab it while standing on the stone platform. You want to pull back on it to open the next door. You want to roll across the sand to enter the northern portion of the room. That's a little tip for you too. Whenever you're going across the sand, always start off with a roll whenever you're going across a platform, because while you're rolling you're not sinking. So you can't roll once you're in the sand, but you can before you ever enter the sand, so it actually makes you get more distance that way. Just a little tip for you. Once you get over to this new area, you want to use your lantern. You're going to be using your lantern throughout this dungeon, so you want to head over to the left and fill up your lantern with oil that is found there, free of charge. You just set your lantern to your item button. You can swipe it over while you're standing over the oil to fill up your lantern directly, rather than filling up a bottle, which you can do as well. If you want some more lantern oil, fill up a bottle. Head over to the opposite side, break through the wooden barriers, and get across the quicksand to find a large chest. Open it to get a small key, which will allow us to access the next door. As you turn around, however, you'll find a new enemy here called Scarabs. Now these guys don't damage you directly, but they will attach themselves to your body and slow you down a ton, which is incredibly deadly combined with quicksand. To get them off, you want to either roll or slash your sword, or you can just use a spin attack, which will kill all the ones attached to you as well. So that's by far the best option. We'll return to the previous area, and now that we have our newfound small key, you can enter the next door, which leads to a very dark room. Whip out your lantern and watch out for all the quicksand that is found here. Be really careful not to sink down into it. Now this room is just filled with a ton of Stalkin, which will begin swarming around you. Make good use of your wide slashes and spin attacks, and they shouldn't be too much of a problem for you. Alternatively, you could use bombs and stuff, but that's pretty awkward. And I like to bunch them all together and then start luring them away, so that way they're all coming at me from one direction. In this case, I'm hiding in the corner, so that way they all come towards me, and then that way I'm only facing them from one direction and they're not surrounding me. Anyways, this makes it easier to take them all out at once, especially using moves like the spin attack. Now, once they're all defeated, you'll see there's 2 torches you need to find, one on either side of the door. Light them both, and this will open the next door. Just be careful about the quicksand and work your way towards the door, and head on to this next room. So once you enter this area, then it will initiate a scene in which there are 4 lanterns, which are obviously Poes, will come out of the next doorway up ahead, and they will take the fire off the 4 pedestals up ahead. So once all the flames are removed, a door will slam shut and will bar the way onward in the dungeon. So if you haven't made the connection already, this is very reminiscent of the Poe sisters from Ocarina of Time, who also took the flames from the Forest Temple in that game, preventing you from progressing in the dungeon until you return the flames to the pedestals. So this is very similar to that. I don't know if Nintendo's trying to do this to bring back happy memories for those of you who have played Ocarina of Time, or if they're just running out of ideas. Anyway, the lanterns will then swirl around Link before shooting off in several different directions, leading one of them to battle us. So switch into your wolf form as soon as possible, and then use your senses to see the Poe. These ones don't look the same. They don't share the same appearance as the other imp Poes that are found in the game, but it fights a little bit differently as well. And when it attacks, its body will turn blue, making it vulnerable. The rest of the time, it's actually translucent. You'll actually go right through it. So as it attacks, its body will turn blue, so it'll make it vulnerable. So wait for the color to change and smack it up. Once you've defeated it, pull out its soul, just like all the other Poes in the game. And if you've been following the walkthrough thus far, this should be your 38th Poe soul. You'll see a short movie where it blows out steam or something and then collapses, apparently even deader ghost than before. The lantern will then burst and the flame will then slowly work its way back to the pedestal. If it isn't obvious already, we're going to have to go find all the other Poes and return their flames in order to access the door. Once you regain control, you want to sniff the purple stench of the Poe to learn the Poe Scent. This will allow us to track them each down and give them their comeuppance. Before we do that though, there's actually a few things we can do in this room. First of all, you want to transform back into your Hylian form and go to the northwest corner of the room. and you'll see you want to use your claw shot to get across the quicksand and open the large chest to get a piece of heart. This is the first of 2 that are found within this dungeon, and if you've been following the walkthrough thus far, this should be your 27th piece of heart total. Yay! With that in hand, you want to roll across the quicksand using the platforms. Hopefully you didn't sink them down. You'll need at least one of them to make it cross, so hopefully you have at least one. You can roll across the quicksand too to make you get some more distance. There's a new enemy here on the opposite side. It's called a bubble. These flying skulls have been in many of the other Zelda titles, and they come alive when you get near them. They'll fly towards you and try taking a chomp out of you, if given the chance, so it's best to avoid that. You can use your boomerang, the hero's bow, the claw shot, or the sword to beat them up. I prefer using my sword, so I use the claw shot there to pull them out of the sand, for example. Once they're both defeated, you want to roll across the quicksand using the platforms to open the large chest and find the dungeon map. This will make it a little easier trying to find out where to go. You want to work your way back to the center of the room, which you can do so using the platforms again, assuming you didn't sink them completely, of course, or you can use the claw shot on the grating that is on the left wall. Once you make it back, you'll find there's actually several different areas we can go to, but most of them lead to dead ends right now. So instead you want to transform into a wolf, use your senses to find the purple trails that lead off from the pedestals. You want to follow the one that leads over here to the west side of the room, then leads to a small patch of dirt. While standing over it as a wolf, you can press down on the D-pad to dig, revealing a chain. You want to pick it up in your mouth and pull it back to reveal a hidden staircase. Ooh, fancy. You can head down there and you'll see that this same purple trail actually leads down there, and so it leads into this room from down here. So that you could have technically gone in this room from up above. It's the same room, but in that location you can't actually do much. You have to enter this room from down here in order to continue on right now. So as soon as you enter, you want to kill the bubble that is flying around. It shouldn't be too hard for you. And then you want to head over to the central pillar here, and you can push this little part that's sticking out, and this will turn it, and this actually turns all the walls around, as you'll see. This reveals a new alcove, whatever. It closes the one we entered from and opens this other one, and this will reveal a new enemy that we have yet to see, and these are called Redeads. So this is just another new enemy found in this dungeon. These things have been seen in several other Zelda titles as well. They're no less freaky this time around either. As usual, they're a bit slow moving and attacking, but they have a menacing scream which will stun you for a long while. You want to try to either sneak up behind them where you can, where they're vulnerable and they won't be able to scream at you, or you can defeat them from range. So if they totally freak you out, you can just stand back and shoot them with bomb arrows or something. You can also try, using your claw shot to smack them, and this will stun them for a short time, and you can run forward and smack them with your sword before they are wake back up. Once defeated, you can go forward and open the small chest to get a small key. You want to head back a little bit and look up, and since we've rotated the walls, there's actually a hole in the ceiling that has rotated as well. And so this now gains us access to this little grating that is up here. So you'll be able to use this in order to get up into this upper area of the room, where you will find a bunch of rats that are nibbling away on the skulls. Kind of creepy. You can slash up these skulls and such as well to get some recovery hearts, so if you are hurt, that might be a good option for you. This dungeon isn't really that hard, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Then head off to the north. So head into the next door, and you'll find that there are several more bubbles. You want to defeat them, and you should hear the Poes lantern rattling in the distance. And unfortunately, there are several lanterns all throughout this room, and all of them are fake except for one of them. But you think that this is freaky. Oh no! And you have to you'll turn around and stuff, and then when you're not looking the right direction, then the Poe will come after you. So it looks kind of like a crazy little boss battle or something, but it's nothing really. You just use your senses to find the real one and Z-target it, and it will start attacking you. So nothing too hard about that. You just want to defeat it just like you did the other ones. It shouldn't be too difficult for you. You want to go ahead and defeat it and pull out its soul, which should be, if you've been following the walkthrough thus far, it should be number 39. Once again, it will scream and deflate, and then the lantern will then shatter, allowing the flame to run wild. Be free, little flame, be free! So that's all we had to do in this room and everything. We've gotten both the flames in this area of the dungeon, so you want to work your way back to the main room, and this will return to the flaming pillars. So you'll have to drop down in the previous room, drop down into the lower portion of the room, and then use the center pillar to turn it counterclockwise this time in order to access the door that leads back to the main room. So I'm out of time, my friends, so check out the next video. We will continue working our way through the Arbiter's grounds.